Hello and welcome back to some Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. Today we're going to be covering Evo Sword. Now Evo Sword is kind of an evolution of the Rally Sword that I covered earlier in the expansion. This particular list does use a little bit more Evo-based things than that old version did. So you've got your Seophon, which of course has the Skybound Art Evolve All Unevolved followers, and then Super, which is Super Evolved instead. Very solid Evo pull. We've got Sandolphin, which is always going to be a staple in any sort of Evo deck. I will say I do only run one copy, because any more than that is super unnecessary. Otherwise, you've got a lot of the same Rally package. You've got Gildaria, you've got Cesar, you've got Mars, but we do tech in Golden Knight, as well as some oddball cards here or there, just as options in case something happens. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the games here, and afterwards we'll talk a little bit more about the deck, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into the game here. It does look like we're going to be against Swordcraft, so it is going to be a mirror matchup to one degree or another. He might be running the slightly more aggro variant, he might be running the slightly more mid-ranged variant, he might be running the version I have, which is a little bit more late game coded.
This will be over.
So off the rip here, we're going to keep Orchestrated Silence. It's a good 2-2 with Rush, and we are going to hold Seophon wherever we can. We're certainly not going to play him on 4, but he's very, very powerful if we can get him active. So right off the rip here, we do see that he is running the Crest card, which means that it is not going to be the super in-your-face aggro deck. It could still be mid-ranged aggro, so we'll have to wait and see what he does. We're going to pop that early, pull Steel Clad. No reason not to in this situation. I'd much rather have it in hand and not beat it, but we will go ahead and play again. Go ahead and drop down Metra. Alright, looks like our opponent's going to be doing very similar things to us, just a little bit behind us in terms of play. So, we're definitely not going to want to tap here, because we want to tap next turn for Bunny and Baron. So that being said, we have a couple options. I think we're just going to go ahead and pop that, as well as this just puts something on the board, as well as clears his creature without leaving our, while leaving our own. So, a little bit more of a solid play
My
here.
friends.
He's going to go ahead and draw. That means our 2-2 is going to retain. Because of that, instead of going Bunny and Baron, we're actually going to Delphaw. That gives this a little bit extra juice, as well as clears, and sets up a nice wide quiet. Yes.
My will over my dead body.
Alrighty, actually, that was enough to end the game, which is kind of crazy. But, I mean, it happens. If he didn't have anything to respond to that, I already chunked him down 5. I think that that's definitely valid. If he didn't have anything in his hand to deal with it, you can just win in those situations. So, really quick first game here, but I think it's a pretty important highlight.
All objectives have been met.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and move into the next game here. It does look like we're going to be up against Portalcraft. Now, Portalcraft does have a few different variants right now. It's got Destruction Portal or Egg Portal, which is pretty much the same as it was last expansion. Then you've got a sort of Storm-based Portalcraft, and then at the top end you've got like the 5+ card list, which is mainly set to play as many 5+ cost cards as possible to trigger a lot of effects that way. More than likely this will be the Storm variant. I think that's the most popular one, followed by Egg, and finally with the big Portalcraft. So off the rip here, we're going to play very similarly. We're going to pop out our Silence. We aren't going to play the Steel Clad. We're not going to tap. Again, since we have the tap, we prefer to use that on Bunny and Baron.
Someone call for an engineer?
That does make things a little different here. I think we might tap. No, I think this is cool. I think we'll go ahead and retain. This card, by the way, isn't 100% that this is the normal mid-range Storm portal, but it's a pretty good sweep, and that right there is going to 100% clear away. We know for a fact that that is what he's running. Downside is we can't clear this, so we are going to take damage from it. That's okay. We should be able to recover pretty easily with Bunny and Baron next turn, or Metronomic if we can get away with it. Bunny and Baron will only be used if we need to use it to clear the board. If not, we want the draw that Metronomic Medic can give us. Portal Friend weighing his options. He's going to go ahead and actually play the Striker. That is interesting. That means he does not have much wise at all. So So that being said, we are 100% fine going Metronome here. I would much rather get those cards right now.
To the shores of
Looks
victory.
like we got a second Cesar. That's nice. No Evo here, and this is
Bite down on
clear.
this.
1 damage, not the best. Definitely not as good as the 5 damage from the last game, but I'll take it. Gets a little bit of pinging going. Since it's not Destruction Portal, he's not going to run a lot of heals, so any bit counts. Alright, putting down Mari, not surprising. Worst case scenario, 3 spells here. He's not going to get 3 spells though. He'll get
Trajectory
1.
calculated.
So he's going to get 2 Evos with Beauty. Beauty does evolve another card on the board. And then he'll play something. It's going to be a full drop on this. That's fine. We're a-okay with this. We're still in a pretty solid position. We actually even retain board, which is crazy. We'll go ahead and drop the Baron. Hopefully use that to clear. We're going to go ahead and take the damage just to have a little bit better board state here at the end. This will allow us to
We'll play again, right?
so he has to contend with them, has to deal with them somehow, whether that be a spell, a low-cost card, or even being forced to evolve something big into it. He's on his turn 6. Let's say there's not a whole lot you can do here that I care about. This is not something I super care about. He'll retain the 4/5 more than likely. I guess this heal is here, goes there, puts this in here, retains these 2. He chooses not. Interesting. Okay, fair play. He's gonna go ahead and hold his own, which I think is super fair and super fine. Alright, off the rip here, what do we got? We would love to say Czar. What could he do at 7 that we would care about? I don't know of a lot. Let's find out together. I think Cesar, especially back-to-back Cesar, is very solid here. So we
Oaths are forged in
should clears him,
steel
sets us
spurs
up
in
with
the
a
light.
and if we play another one next turn, it's going to be really hard for him.
Talk about a bummer.
Just play out a Cesar. We are burning our Evos a lot quicker than he is, but we're looking to end this game sooner rather than later. His list with the crazy Storm followers can go really crazy really quickly, so we want to avoid getting to that point in the game. So we'll see what he does. Turn 7, like I said, there's the summon 2 or Evo 2 cards. Asher and Lydia, okay, fair play. He's gonna just throw that down on 5 mana, double Evo. That will clear us.
This might hurt.
There's no situation where it doesn't clear us.
Anytime,
The
anywhere.
question is, how well does it work out? Answer,
Oath is fulfilled.
he's going to be able to clear us and retain his credit. So,
Oath is fulfilled.
not fantastic, but you know it is what it is. We've got Shared Existence. I think that's better here. I'd rather do this than waste my last Jubilee Venom.
That's unheeded.
We could use our Desperados and retain 2 4/1s, but if it's necessary. I'd rather hold that in hand. Next turn we have Noel. We need it. He's a little higher HP than I'd like. We are doing okay. Biggest downside right now in terms of our hand is we don't have any Seophons. Seophons are really what push this deck heavily into the late game. It gives you the ability to suddenly have an insane board. And because we don't have any of those in our starting almost half of the deck, that means that it's not getting those extra points on its Skybound Evos, which means it's a lot worse. He's going to play out his Storm Follower. This clears here. He's just going to play some additional artifacts. We don't really care about them. We're taking 8, which is we're going to go with less than ideal. Let's see here. Would Noel clear? I think yes, it will. And it'll heal us a little bit. So
Wish the corrupt.
play. We'll play him out. He's going to spawn a bunch of throws. Not ideal, but it's what we got right now. We'll go corrupt here.
Did I overshoot?
As much of our board as we can, so we can do that. Then we're going to swing base. We are 1 off of Rally. So at 20, Rally, Gildaria is going to evolve itself and summon 2 copies of Knight, while dealing damage for every card that hits the board. More than likely, we'll end up playing Golden Knight next turn, so Gildaria should be active following that. Ludicrous Ordinance, that's fine. We don't particularly care about that. He's going to clear our board with it. 3, 6, 9. He has to.
Trajectory
Yeah, to do that.
calculated.
Which means we are both at
I'm really
0.
very happy.
So,
Next
perfectly
experiment,
okay with it.
experiment,
Not a big deal.
experiment.
was a mistake.
I think our deck is much stronger at 0 Evos than his deck is. So, I think that we are moving into a competitive late game. Like I said, I would love to have that Sail Fun, but just not happening right now. We do have Metronomic into Nailclaw. This is a really solid play because it summons 2/1/1s, and when you play Nailclaw, it gives all allied followers +1/+0 and Rush. So that'll be Metronomic and the 2/1/1s. So pretty solid. She's going to play out another copy of this. Annoying, but again, not the end of the world.
Next experiment.
You have Desperado, which I'd like to run out, I think. I think we will do that. I think what we're going to do instead, we're going to Desperado. We're going to Gildaria.
Commence this concerto of order and harmony.
And then either Nailclaw.
Converge.
I think Bunny and Baron is better here. Because that's also going to do damage from this, because Bunny and Baron are
Converge.
leader. So we're able to very quickly push him down, set ourselves up with an emphasized board while holding this combo for next turn, if needed. He's going to play Scarlet. That should clear us, but he might have to run something. No, he does have another card. That being said, we're fine with that. We're doing okay for state-wise, so...
Behold the might of the Supreme Primarch!
Ooh, Mars. Mars is better? So that'll get a little bit of face damage. Yes, Mars is better. Not a lot better, but better.
To the short stop right there!
Go through there, couple shots, hit him in face. This has Bane on it, and he doesn't have any more Super Evos, so if he clears this, whatever he uses to clear it, unless it's a spell, will die. So this is a nice little one.
Wanna roll with us?
There comes out another one of these. That's 5. That. We should be able to clear it again, though, without too much trouble.
Quite the pulse you've got.
To the shores of victory!
Here we go!
To the shores of victory! Stop! That hurt! Why?
Heal up 1 from Sandalphon. Sandalphon doing 12 of 15. Again, 0 copies of Sailfon. It happens. Sailfon is definitely one of the most important pieces of the deck, but as you can see, it's not only. He's going to have a pretty good play there. We are running out
All in
of
time.
answers. He's getting
just
a
it.
decent board each and every turn.
Flatlining.
And we are running out of the ability to respond to it. Hey, look, there's Sailfon. Okay, so that helps a lot. What do we want to play here? We've got 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be here, I think. Because this would be 3. This is 2, 3, 4. This is better.
Reporting in.
And we'll have
To the shores of
I
victory!
want to squish their little cheeks.
I saved the best for last.
Okay, so we got a Sailfon. Obviously, we would have aggressively preferred if we could have
Give me a hug.
used it in a more super Evo way rather than standard Evo. But at this point, beggars can't be choosers. We are in kind of a rough position, so being able to remove that was good. He only has 1 copy of the 8 cost left in the deck because he's played 2 so far. That wouldn't kill us. It would do 6 and clear our board, and we don't really have a good response to it. He's just gonna rip the Sandalphon. That is not gonna kill us. Man, that got us lower than I'm happy with. Especially if he drops his own.
Next experiment. Wrong frequency.
Sandalphon is active. Is there anything we can do to clear him? And play Sandalphon? I don't think so. I think we have to know how. Which means this spawns 3 things. We can just drop it, I think.
Crush my opposition, would you? Reload! This soul's nothing!
Okay, beautiful. And that was enough to finish him off. We wouldn't have quite been able to kill him, but with the heal, I think he was ready to call it. Solid game, a little bit of a weird one, especially because of how late we drew our Sailfon, but we were able to deal with him anyway, which I think is a pretty good indication of how this deck can perform when you don't draw the key cards. So, solid game. Let's move on to the next one.
The light will never fade.
Alrighty, moving into our next game here, we've got Havencraft. Excellent. So this will either be Amulet, it'll be Storm, or it'll be the standard Super Evo. Super Evo Haven's fallen a little bit out of popularity.
Death to this godless
so I
world.
wouldn't be so shocked as much to see a more Amulet-centered Haven, but we'll have to see. None of this is worth holding on to. I'd much rather have a little bit better early game. We got better early game. This is decent here into Gildaria, and then Seofon in our opening hand. So we'll go ahead and pop the spell, get Steelclad Knight. That'll do with any sort of early game Guardian player might do. Looks like he ain't gonna do anything on turn 1, so we'll just go ahead and do this instead. This sets us up for a potentially stronger turn 3.
This is my story.
Alright, he's gonna play out Lilium. That is fine. We'll go ahead and just pop this Depths.
Give me a
Play
hug.
Adventure number 2.
I want to squish their
Grab another
little
one in
cheeks.
our hand here. Okay. Let's see if he's able to
Ocean waters.
respond to this. He is. He's going to get both pieces. It is. Okay, fair enough. We're happy enough with that. We'll play out a couple cards here. Nothing crazy. Just setting up a little bit of board for our Gildaria turn next turn. Now, after that, we're going to be running a little bit low on options. We don't draw one. He coins out a Zoe, which is going to clear us. Then he'll Evo it, which will give him another copy of it at the start of next turn. So, not great for us, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and play out our Gildaria. We'll go ahead and Evo it. That rally continuing, because we've evolved Gildaria to 2/2s our summon. They are not going to be used to attack here. I'm going to use Depth instead. That way I can, once again, retain a little bit of a lead.
I choose
Now,
to
he
believe
does
in
get
hope.
the Evo on the Zoe, so if he has a second copy of Zoe, we're in for a bad time. But provided he doesn't have that, we're looking relatively okay here. Not amazing, but relatively okay. Another option he could have would be Sophina. That's not all that great here. He is still a turn off of his Verdilia turn, which we're going to respond to with Cesar if he does it. So we're doing okay. It is going to be Sophina. I don't think that's insanely good here. Gildaria doesn't die to that. Unless he double trades into it and leaves me with 2/2/2s, which is exactly what he's going to do. We're fine with that. Not a big deal. I'm happy enough with that. Especially with that draw. No Follow Lieutenant is great. We're able to play that, give these two +1, +0. We're going to go ahead and burn an Evo, and we're going to push the damage. That is going to be 8 damage to Ego for our Havencraft friend here. And we're sitting pretty. He's going to tap out Gildaria, which is going to leave us with something on the board, probably a 2/1, which we are going to counter with our Cesar, which is going to make that 2/1.
Is there something you need, Professor?
Board, as well as summon additional
miracle.
cards. So
As you
we
wish.
do not care about this at all. We have already put
What we
ourselves
can
in a
do.
position where this play is actually, for once, not that good. It's okay. It's still good in that way. Verdilia is still a very solid card.
All is
But
lost.
it's not the game ender that a turn 6 Verdilia can be for a lot of decks. So we'll play out our Cesar, excuse me, it's 3/4. We'll go ahead and Super Evo save Cesar. Clear out those of these cards with it.
You did your
And then
best.
we'll go ahead and crack him in the dome for another 3, plus the 1 from the Super Evolve over damage. And we are very happy with the way this game is going. Best case scenario draw here would be an Erica or Mars if you do the whale. He does drop down a second Verdilia. Once again, though, that will not clear. In fact, pulling the 4/4 is terrible for him because that doesn't even kind of clear.
What we can do.
We're going to be
I'm done
left with a lot of
praying.
damage and way more damage than we can deal with. So, really great example of how well this deck performs into this very standard Super Evo Haven, because you're able to have bigger turns early into a really big turn on 7 and 8. You're able to deal with the big swing that Super Haven is trying to do once they get to that point, and you're able to push a little bit of damage early, putting them just in a really bad position where even what they would consider their power turns just aren't quite as powerful. So very, very solid game, very good showcase of what this deck can do against decks that rely on those big swings in the big game. Alrighty, and that is going to be Evo Sword. Of course, Evo Sword, we didn't see very much of Evo in, other than we saw Seofon manage to get us out of kind of a sticky situation with just its standard Evo. But Super Evo is just that, but better if you have it in its starting hand. We also observed how good this is at dealing with mid-game threats, as well as pushing early-game damage, in addition to the late-game capabilities of the deck. So I think this deck is really, really solid into most of the different decks in the meta right now. Biggest problem I've had has been Crystal Rune, but even that I've been able to deal with pretty handily. So if you have any questions about the deck, comments, concerns, or just want to see some other kinds of decks played on this channel, feel free to leave a comment below. And then, of course, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Shows me what kind of decks you guys want to see. So thanks so much for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your day.